Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers and the sojourners of truth, the 144 chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I am Akila Textry in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from 5D consciousness. And as usual, I bring you the news to infuse if you so choose. So let's infuse. I don't know about you, but I do. So happy whatever day this is for you. I want to talk to you today about actually answering some questions, but this topic is really like basically to say it's gonna hurt until it don't, right? And this is in regards to the 5D split and what's happening as the split is happening, because the dimensional lines are definitely splitting, shifting, we're time leaping, we're jumping, all of the above. Right? Souls are moving and shifting. This is a very energetic time. The soil is being tilled right now, especially with that conjunction we just had. And we're still feeling the energy from it, the effects of it. We were feeling it before and we're going to feel it after. Right? Whenever there's a cosmic shift, you're going to feel the energy before and you're going to feel it after. It's just that it peaks at the time that they give you. Right? And for those of us who are more sensitive, we can feel it up to like months in advance, weeks, sometimes months. I sometimes feel it 2 months in advance. Anyhow, I digress. I'm inspired to talk about this because of some questions specifically, and shout out to the viewer who has sent this. I want to shout out and give you a shout out and say your name, but with all due respect, I don't want to just throw your name out there, and you know, some people are a little bit more private, so in respect for that, you know who you are when I ask the questions, right? So with that, few things before I begin. There are some things I want to, what they say, house cleaning. Let's sweep the broom. In regards to the last video I did, my apologies to those who see it and the back part of it is off. And this has happened before in like 2 videos, I believe. This is like the 3rd time it's happened. So I just want to apologize to you guys about that. It's the energies. What can I say? It's like, if that's not a perfect example of Mercury retrograde, I don't know what is. Things like that start happening. Like I lost my ring light has no light. Like there's all kind of technical difficulties happening. You may have some issues with traveling. It affects technology, communication, mainly communication and travel. So a lot of people may have had some flight delays, or you know, had to make different travel arrangements, and it's just kind of what happens. And it's not bad. It's really just to kind of have a slow down retrogrades and look at what's going on and what's happening. All of these cosmic experiences help us to maneuver through the energies if we so choose to pay attention, right? So without further ado, is there anything else? Oh yes, I would like to say that the workshop went well this weekend. It was beautiful, and I'm thankful for what came up. There's a lot that came up that I can see that I may have to do another workshop. During these times, a lot of us are needing to look into our feelings, and being that the sacral is the emotional body, it really helps us to pack in, access what we need to access, and unpack what we need to unpack, basically, to process our emotions. So it was really, really good. It was a 3-day workshop. I may have to make it a longer one because it's so much to cover in 3 days, and there's a lot of questions, and I appreciate all who were able to join in. If you missed it, you know, you can always jump on the next train, jump on the next ride when it comes moseying through. Choo choo. So with that, without further ado, let me go in and let's talk about this 5D split, right? A lot of people talking about it. We hear it from different people. People are interpreting it in, you know, different ways, and it fits everybody. It's not a one size fit all, right? Different people are experiencing it differently because it's tailored to your life experience, to your timeline and your lifetime, and what you have done. What is your soul unfoldment? What have you come here to do, right? And as it relates to others, see, one of the things that I think we really got to look at while this shift is happening is our relationship to others, how we relate, how we see relationships. This is why perspectives have to change. I've been saying this practically since before the nodes moved. into Aries and Libra, right? Before the 18 months before that, it was in the Taurus Scorpio axis. And pretty much out of that, we were supposed to gain going forward, because the Taurus was about our perspectives on relationships, like how we see relationships and finances, how we see money, how we see the things that we value, which Taurus is kind of really about that type of life, with Venus being the ruler, right? The things that we value in life and stuff like that. So it's asking us in our forward movement trajectory. North Node was in Taurus. Out of all of that, we were supposed to gain from that how to change our perspectives, right? And we were challenged with a lot of things to show us how to change our perspectives. I say that to say this, while I'm giving you the prelude of what I'm going to share with you, because I'm sharing with you some questions that we all have on how we have to see that it's just going to hurt until it doesn't hurt anymore. Some of these things happen to hurt us, to move us, to shift us, so that we will shift gears into the next timeline. Help you to shift gears mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Changing your perspective is the answer, because we cannot change the world, right? And the world is shaped by our perspective. So go figure, right? Change your perspective instead of trying to change everything outside of us, and things around you will change, right? And if everyone is changing their perspective in some type of alignment with the love frequency, we will definitely have a better outcome. And of course, that's ideal, and it can be real. It's not impossible, but it's a little tedious with everyone on a different part of their journey, right? So I say this so that we understand that was what was supposed to happen in those 18 months, for us to give us the opportunity to change our perspective, right? And also to return to the matriarchal energies, not to leave the patriarchal, but to find a balance with the matriarchal energies, returning us to the age of Taurus, right? Because before the age of the Ram, when a lot of this upheaval started to happen, a lot of the egoic mindset of humanity, the misappropriated egoic mindsets and the conquering aspects. This is about 4,000 years ago. Around that time, there was a lot of this, dominance, this masculine, patriarchal male dominance. The misappropriated masculine started to take place. Before that, there was the the Taurus age, which was definitely more coming from a matriarchal standpoint, where people were more living at one with the earth, which is a lot of us are returning to that right now. So that was another outlook on that, right? And I just share this because these are all other little dynamics and spectrums in which we see the split that is happening. The split to 5D is not one-dimensional. Hello, it's 5D. Multi-dimensional. It's even more than five dimensions. It's a multi-dimensional experience. Some people are having this experience at their 6-dimensional self, their 7-dimensional self, their 8-dimensional self. It depends on how you are experiencing it. But ultimately, the earth itself is shifting into the next gear, shifting into the 5th dimension overall for the collective, right? So questions that came up. With all that said, let's get into some of these questions, right? It's a few, about four or five, but it's really good. And again, I thank you for bringing these questions. It inspired me to say, we really have to talk about this, right? So how can we secure ourselves that we are on the side of 5D? The way that we can secure ourselves is to do the soul work, do your shadow work. If you're doing that, you don't even have to look for anything specifically 5D, right? It's not like you driving on the road and it says 5D this way. The next 2 exits, get off and you'll be at 5D. It's not a location. 5D is our consciousness. 5D is us expanding from the 3rd dimension consciousness of ourselves individually and collectively into the 5th dimension, right? From 3D, don't skip 4, from 3D to 4D to 5D, right? And I think a lot of times why people don't even talk about 4, it's probably a topic for another time, but I'm just throwing it in, is because we were pretty much living through the fourth dimension, like Yeshua came here and displayed that. It's just that people didn't understand it, and for some reason people are still holding on to the shadows of the 3D paradigm, the shadows from the age of the ram. The age of the ram really, I think, did a number on the collective people, ultimately on humanity, and kind of holding them in this stuck gear of 3D. And so 4D was here to be had, and that's what the Piscean age brought, right? 4D was here to be had, but it's like people didn't quite shift into 4D. You had some people come here and experience the 4D. We had been in we had been living in the fourth dimension, so to speak, but it just wasn't really talked about. And so now we're really shifting into 5D. I want to say more of 4D to 5D, right? But you'll hear everybody call it 5D. But you can secure yourself ultimately by doing the work, which is your shadow work, which is evolving your soul, elevating your soul, you know, having yourself live in your soul's expansion, you know, that consciousness expansion, healing yourself, which I really call revealing. A revelation is what brings the healing. You have to reveal to heal. There's nothing to be healed, only truth to be revealed. And when you allow the love that lights the truth to reveal inside of your soul, the healing will come. We really don't have to look for a healing. That's outer layer stuff. Anyway, I digress. I have to catch myself if I'm gonna get through the question. So that is one of the ways. There's many ways that we can secure it, but I would say don't look for such a ironclad security. Just know that you're doing your work. Continue to face yourself in the mirror. Continue to remove, excavate your soul, things like that. Those are the things that shift you into gear. I mean, I have felt myself quantum leap or timeline leap a couple of times, and there were like 2 or 3 I leaped like 4 times within 1 year, and I was doing a lot of major moving stuff out of my soul, removing the soot out of my soul. To the degree that you remove the soot out of your soul, that determines how you lighten your soul, and therefore catapulting you into the next dimension. The more you move into the next dimension of your timeline, the more you are setting yourself up, or let me say aligning yourself with the 5D experience, right? The more you are becoming a part of the light grid activation, right? Because that's activating the light grid. The more of us light workers, light warriors do our work, the more we're activating the light grid. And this is how we infuse. When you hear me say choose to infuse with the light, that's how we choose to infuse with the light, by being responsible, able to respond to the truth, accountable, right? Accountability to our actions. We have to face ourselves in the mirror. We have to look at our darkness, and we have to admit the darkness and the fears that we've been carrying, the fears and the lies, you know, in the dark, the fears that tell lies in the dark. All of this that I'm saying is how you secure yourself into 5D, which you really don't got to look for a secure spot. It's open to us all, right? Another important question: what is the best approach when I suspect that my loved ones are far away from conscious life, right? Or not invested in any type of spirituality, right? So it's a 2-part question, so I'm gonna answer that part first. What is the best approach when we suspect that our loved ones are far from it? At this point, I have to say again, it's gonna hurt until it don't hurt no more. Right? This is a process that is like there's a pulling apart, and we have to understand, overstand, and understand this process, that they're far away, and that means that they're no longer a vibrational match, right? The best approach that we can have is to love people where they are. Love them where they are. Leave them right where they are. I'm not saying don't be around them, don't be their friends, don't be their whatever you are to them, but do not feel like, especially as light workers, light warriors, and we become more in tune with ourselves, we feel like everybody got to come with us. It's that saying where you hear a lot of in the religious sector, they always say everybody can't go. And that is so true. Everybody can't go, right? Not because they can't, because they don't want to. There's room for everybody, but everybody can't go because everybody does not want to show up for themselves. Everybody does not want to tap into their soul experience. We are all here as souls having a soul experience, yet some people want to stay in the sea of forgetfulness and forget that your soul has a job to do. Your spirit chose to have this soul unfolding experience, but not everybody wants to accept that. A lot of people just want to accept that they're just living in their body, living in the now, and when they die, you know. But then at the same time, they know they don't just end there, because then they talk of going to a heaven. What do you think the heavens are? Right? The heavens is the etheric realm. You go into the next mansion. The heavens is the mansion. The mansion where it says, my father's house has many rooms. My mansions has many rooms. Those mansions are the mansion worlds. You go into another room. You got more work to do. It's a never ending story. But anyway, they don't want to hear that. Right? So the best approach when you suspect that they're far is start preparing. I like to talk to what we could do, because we can't change people. Prepare yourself to have to separate in a certain way. Maybe not physically, but definitely mentally, emotionally. Prepare yourself to accept. Don't expect. Expectation is a fear-based emotion. The opposite of that is acceptance as a love-based emotion. Don't expect people to go with you. Don't expect them to hear you, feel you, believe you. Accept that they may not ever understand. Accept that they may not understand right now, and also accept that they may change their minds. We're all free will beings. We are free to do so. So expect that. Not expect. Nope. Cancel. No expectations. Accept them for who they are, and accept you for your journey that is choosing to move on. So that is the best approach, is acceptance, is what I would say. Right? If they're far away, you could just, you know, I don't want to say hope, because hopes are for dopes, but pray or meditate, petition and meditate over their souls. Speak to their soul. You can speak to their souls. I know it sounds crazy, but speak to their souls. When you go to bed at night, you know, say what you got to say and whisper into their soul. Hey, it's going to, you know, remind their souls. You can only remind them, remember, we're here for a reason. Remember, we're here for a cause. I'm inviting you into your soul's experience. Like, just things like that. You know, call their name into existence and just speak into their soul before you go to bed at night. Just put it out there in the ethers. The thing is so, we don't understand how we could connect. This telepathy thing is on lock. The energetic connections, the information field is crazy right now. The communication is up. So this is a time to speak to your loved ones, and it doesn't have to be face to face, right? So the two-part, I said it's a two-part. The next part is and also, if we suspect that they will not transit to 5D and we're going to get separated, yes, that may be a reality. Again, this goes with the acceptance, so I kind of covered that already. You suspect that they may never transit to 5D. I've had to tell myself this. It's okay. They may not get it right now. They may not get it for another year or two, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. They may not get it in this lifetime, and that's okay. Acceptance, that's the love frequency. A thing that I would say to help is we have to, and I'm going to answer this with I think another question, but we have to remember our part, what we're here for, your soul's journey, and allow them to have theirs. And one of the key things that helped me in this process was to remind myself that our loved ones, see, we become attached. We're attached to them, and that's an ego attachment is the block of the crown chakra. Right? In total consciousness and total connectivity, which is the crown chakra's, you know, good part, the evolved aspect, is to know that I look at them as co-workers in life. And I'm talking about relatives, friends, like, yes, but you're just my co-worker in this lifetime. For whatever reason, I've chosen to be in this bloodline, connected to you all. We've all had little soul contracts for whatever reason, but I accept the truth that we're just co-workers. Some are co-workers you get along with, and some are co-workers that you don't, but it's okay, because we're co-workers. You are my associate in this lifetime. That helps to depersonalize. And I'm talking about family members I had to do this with. I'm talking siblings. I'm talking mother. I'm talking aunts. I'm talking like we are co-workers. You know, it's okay. We're just co-workers. And I love you, co-worker. Right? You respect them where they are. Those I'm just giving you my tidbit. You know, others may handle it differently, but understand that they may not transit, and yes, we may get separated. But the separation, this is what I want to say. The separation may not be like what you think. It doesn't necessarily have to be, speak to me, spirit, physically. It doesn't mean you won't be with them. We are all on this God green earth, this good green earth together. The split doesn't mean we're not going to be here together unless someone transitions, and even in spirit you are still one. So it's knowing that you're going to be separated in the way that you have held. This is why we have to change our perspectives. In the way that you have held that relationship in your mind, in your life, world, and affairs, you have to let go of those concepts. Those are the old paradigms that are falling away with the old life, right? So that's the separation. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel some type of way. But that's what it means. It's like, you're going to get separated, yes, but maybe not physically. For some people, it is physically. Some people are physically having to be removed from another. And that's, you know, and that's okay too. Accept that too. Accept that we may get separated, and that's okay. The thing is, we want to move to 5D, a lot of us, but we want to tag everybody along with us. And we want to keep the comforts that we had. Then that's not expanding. We're not expanding out of 3D if we're taking our 3D comforts with us into 5D. They can't go. Even if you tried, it cannot cross the timeline. Like, I've literally witnessed that, me traveling with loved ones or like-minded people. And I'm speaking even spiritual. Please do not get comfortable in a spiritual dynamic and think that because it's spiritual, it's any different. The spiritual community is struggling as well. There's a separation within the spiritual community as well, because I'm hearing like it's time to separate the sheep from the goat. I probably got to do a different topic. I mean, a separate video on that. But there is this separation that is happening, and even within the spiritual community, we have to understand it's not what you think it is. And Saturn in Pisces is doing a great job of highlighting that for a lot of us, if you choose to pay attention and not be stubborn and hold on to things because of someone's title or because you respect, oh, but they're spiritual and they're a guru and they're this. I don't care who they are. I don't even watch Sadhguru no more, because he's a sad guru. When you see the things that they are into and keeping up with certain lifestyles in the 3D paradigm, in the shadows of the 3D paradigm, I hold them accountable, and I no longer allow them to entertain my mind, Be mindful of that. So don't think that just because they're spiritual, we are going to have even separations in that department, and just accept that they may not be who they say they are, and that's okay. Right? Next question is, how can I approach it without getting my energy infected? And again, it's knowing yourself, doing your shadow work. The more you build yourself and live in the love frequency, wherever love exists, fear cannot. Fear and love cannot exist in the same space. It cannot. Although people think that it can and try to make it work, but if you do, you will have an incoherency in the frequency. Right? It's incoherent. It does not match, right? Fear is the opposite of love. In order to counteract fear, this is why you hear people talk about love, not for gushy mushy love, like, oh, you just gotta love and love, although that's good too. But it's about agape love. It's about unconditional love, that divine love, that infinite love, that eternal love, the love that is a part of source, the love that is source, the love that lights the truth, right? So it is this love that we are fueled on, that holds us in the love frequency. The fourth dimension is the love frequency, you know, that carries us into the fifth dimension, to hold the vibrations of the love frequency repetitively, to express it actually in time, expanding that consciousness into an expression of this love frequency. This is what we're all being challenged now in 5D. Can you hold the love frequency? So when you hold the love frequency, it's like that's your antibody. Ooh, ancestors in the wind. it's like your antibody that keeps you protected, right? So don't worry, if you'll be protected and you won't be infected, right? And it's not to go out and, oh, I gotta protect my energy. We don't have to try hard to do anything. All we have to do is live in the love frequency, in truth, and love and understanding, respecting people to be where they are, because we're coexisting in these multiple timelines. And the more you exist in yours, the more you attract more of you. You will see your soul tribe start to open up. You will see your soul family start to open up. You will see new love interests open up. Some people are afraid to lose their husbands, their wives, and I understand. It may be like, oh, we've been together for 10 years. Guess what? The shifts are changing, and it's saying, hey, earthquake, the earth is quaking and shaking, and it's saying, hey, you're no longer a vibrational match. And I need you to get a hold of yourself and understand that you're not here just to be that person's wife or husband. It may sound bad, but it's the truth. You're here to have a connection with someone that you probably already signed up for, and they're waiting on you. They're waiting on you to get rid of your 3D holds. That life served you for that time, and it's time to realize that this no longer serves me. That's part of the separation. There's a split going on in you too, not just between you and another, but within yourself, intrapersonally, right? So this is happening at an intrapersonal level and at an interpersonal level between others. You have to decide what's splitting from you and what no longer serves you, and be willing to let that go in love. Like, you know what? I was once there. I'm not there anymore. I love you, but it is time for me to let this go, because it's no longer a vibrational match with me in my soul, right? And I know this takes a lot, but this is what it's happening in the split. We have to become spiritually mature and level up to these truths that are there, right? How to not get sad or pity them. Again, knowing yourself. Sadness comes because it's out of grief. And this is something that hits us in our heart chakra. A lot of people are getting hit in their heart chakra right now. There is so much grief. I can feel it almost, steaming up out of the earth, right? Especially as we just came out of our heart chakra season. We're now in the throat chakra season. And a lot of us were taking hits, getting hits in the heart. But it was for us to work our heart, to find the space and the place in our heart. It was for us to refresh our heart, to drain our heart of the soot and the negative things that we had sitting there, the judgments, the condemnation. We are being asked to find space in our heart to be at a place of anahata, which is the Sanskrit word for the heart chakra. Anahata, that means unbothered. It is for us to be unbothered, not unbothered as in I'm denying this, but unbothered by what is happening. I see it, I feel it, but in my feelings I can truly process it, that I return to the love frequency. But at first, it's gonna hurt until it don't. This is the work, and it's not, I want to say it's not easy, but it depends on how you're experiencing it. As I always say, it's easy, but it's difficult to the ones who can't do the easy stuff. And the easy stuff is being self-disciplined. The easy stuff is moving your will out of the way. If we can, it sounds hard, and it is if you've been used to doing something a certain way, but when you really find the light of the divine, when you fuel yourself up with so much love, believe me, it comes much more easier. When you put the divine's interest first over yours, and we're talking about not a God in the sky when I say divine, I'm talking about the divine in you. When you put your divinity first, through divinity, through the Trinity of divinity as your soul, when you put the divine's will first, which is what you divinely came here and orchestrated in the first place through your spirit, when you hold onto that and you remember that you are a member in love, reconnect to your spirit, reconnect to your ultimate love source and center and light. And these are the things that hold you in vibrations that allow it to be easier for you to let go of your personal will, to detach, right? So that's how you cannot be sad. I mean, just working on it. I want to say, I don't like to tell people how to feel. I don't want to say, don't be sad. Be sad. One of the things you can do is allow yourself to have your feelings. The importance of the sacral chakra, the emotional body. It gets choked up and people have blockages there because they don't allow themselves to feel. Feelings are indicators and they bring instructions. That's why it's wired, you know, to your pituitary gland and all that. It's the sacral and the third eye work hand in hand. One is about feelings and one is about perception. What you feel changes your perception, and your perception changes how you feel, right? So these are some of the things I talk about in the course. That's why I say if you could get in, because this is how we help ourselves through the process. So allowing yourself to feel is a great thing to do. Let the feeling come, invite it in, take deep breaths. Breathing bridges you. Breathing, breath work is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Breathe it in. Allow it to run through you. Process the emotion. It is your unprocessed emotions that are coming up to trigger you and bring back traumas. And I'm quoting traumas because it's really not, it's just a drama. It's just soul-like drama. It's the three-dimensional type drama that we allow to become our trauma, and it doesn't help us look at our karma. Story for another day, right? So don't tell yourself to not get mad or sad. Allow that feeling to come up, because that feeling is bringing you an instruction and it's letting you know something. The opposite of sad is happy. So I want to say this to you. If you're living in the love frequency, just like there can be no fear where there is love, happy is on the love frequency. If you are enamored, armored with the full, this is how when they say armor with the full armor of God, this is how. When you're armored with the full armor of God, you will not have space, right? That's your armor right there. There can be no sad, because you're constantly living in the happy and what makes you happy in this frequency, in the love frequency, in 5D. Happy to know what you know, happy to have the mindset that you have, happy to embrace your soul's journey. That happiness fills you up so that you don't have time and space to be sad. That doesn't fit in your time-space reality, right? So how to not get sad, we just did that. I feel exhausted when I'm trying to convince them. That's more of a statement. And I'm sharing this because a lot of us do. How many of us are like, oh, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying. Stop telling them. We don't have to tell them anything. You do like Yeshua and you live it. You don't tell it, you live it. You become a living example. You be this is why I say, be the candle that lights the next one. You light up your candle. Shine your light from the inside in, outside in, and light your candle. And you be the candle that lights the next one. Because, like I said, fear tells lies in the dark. So we just need to light up, light up, light up. And wherever we shine our light, it dispels the darkness. It dispels it, moves it, pushes it out of the way. And so this is where, you know, it can be exhausting, but I want to invite us, my 5D light bodies, my 5D light warriors, especially the light warriors, because we the ones be on the front line. It's a whole lot of light workers. Those are the chosen ones and the chosen of the chosen. But the light warriors are like the chosen of the chosen of the chosen. Like we out here on the battlefield, like dude, there's some real light warriors out here that are for the light. So know that it's not our job to convince them, right? That's wasted energy, and it just drains you, and it's not where you want to be and where you want to go. And ultimately, we bother them. When we're doing this, like, as much as you want to help them, your light is irritating them. They're going to irritate you, and you're going to irritate them. So it doesn't make sense to convince. It's just be in your space. And if you're respecting them in their space and they're not respecting you, then that's a sign that we have to make a decision. That's another thing that's happening right now. The energies are shifting us right now, especially with this conjunction that we just had, to earthquake us and say, hey, it's time to move. It's time to reevaluate whatever it is that you need to do. Change how you are interacting with them. Do not give others the benefit of the doubt. We just talked about this in the workshop last night. It's not your job to give others the benefit of the doubt. It's not your job to give them grace. Leave that up to the divine and their timeline, right? And their time. It is for us to be in the truth and express that truth with them. Don't give them more. God don't give you more than you could bear. You don't give them more than they can bear. right? Give them their space. Don't give them nothing too much. Live your life in your truth. And if they need anything from you, they'll match you. They'll come and meet you right where you are, right? You'll pull them right up. So, shall I just leave them behind? Essentially, yes. Leave them right where they are, even though they're sitting in front of your face. Because as I said, physically, you don't have to leave. You're not going anywhere. We're all here unless they transition. And you still get to talk to them. So is it leaving them behind? Not really. I'm right here. But know that as you shift timelines, this is your journey. You're here on your journey by yourself, even though you're here with others. Your soul journey is your own. So essentially, we're all leaving someone behind. We're all either going to the side, or we're leaving them behind, or we're leaving them forward. We're leaving them to the side. But either way, it's our soul journey for us to work on our own, and how we interact or integrate is dependent on those energies and how we open ourselves up to them. But it's a beautiful ride. So I say all that to say this: enjoy the 5D ride, enjoy it, and just allow others to be. One of the things that I like to say is release them to their now. Take a deep breath and just, I release them to their now. And I will return to my now moment in every now moment, because I have a job to do, right? So this is what it looks like in the split. Welcome to 5D, right? There's a lot to see and do here. Get in where you fit in, and know that it's gonna hurt until it don't hurt no more. And we're all in the love frequency, doing the dance, right? Doing the 5D dance, doing the new age of Aquarian, whatever you want to call this, the new earth dance. So welcome to the new earth consciousness, and continue doing your soul work. Faithfully, I've answered all questions. If you have any, you can always ask me more. Any comments, please like, subscribe, and share if you dare with others, with loved ones, and take whatever resonates with you. And faithfully, I have helped someone who's going through 5D, who's coming in, and it's like, where am I going to do with all of this energy, with all these people, right? Love the life that you live in and live it to the fullest. So with that said, each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out, and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Peace, love, and light.